Hey, right. I hope you're good. So, this is the most recent training. It's on how to make awesome gains if you are short on time, which most of you probably are because in this day and age, we're all busy. We all got stuff going on, work, family, commitments, all that stuff. So, this will hopefully give you an idea of how to still make really good progress in the gym or in terms of muscle growth without having to spend hours and hours in the gym. Because I think a lot of people tend to think they need to spend 3, 4, 5 times a week or go to the gym 3, 4, 5 times a week to get the results they want, when in reality, it's hardly anything at all. Which is great news for you busy folk out there, or just for those of you who just don't want to spend much time in the gym or don't want to spend much time working out. You don't have to, which is awesome. So this will hopefully help. So first of all, I'll just go through quickly the principles of muscle growth. So obviously we need high amounts of mechanical tension, so that's stress on the muscle. We need to be progressively overloading the muscle, so getting stronger. Remember, when we put mechanical tension on the muscles adapt to that stress or the tension, which means you then have to put more stress on the muscle, i.e. getting stronger and stronger. So if you don't get stronger, then the muscle will just stay where it is. It won't adapt. You need a good level of sleep and recovery to recover from your workouts. This is very, very important. I don't think people realize how important sleep and recovery is. Yes, training is important, but I'd argue the fact that recovery is probably equally as important as the training itself. You need protein to build muscle, so around 1.6 to 2 grams per kilo of body weight per day. Again, you can build muscle with less than that as well. So again, yes, protein is important, but you can build muscle without having as much protein as you probably first thought. And I've highlighted it here, but probably the most important out of all this is consistency. Without being consistent, then you won't get the results you want. So if you're not consistent with working out every week or whatever, you won't get the results. You could have the best program, you could have the best technique, but if you're not consistent at doing it, then you won't get the results. So those are the main muscle growth principles. So next up is minimum effective dose. So basically the least amount of work you need to do to build meaningful muscle. And this is where it gets interesting. So it used to be, I guarantee a lot of you watching this will probably thinking, oh, I need to be doing 20 sets per week on each muscle group for it to grow, which means I need to be in the gym 4, 5, 6 times a week. Just haven't got time for that. Even if I have got time, then I don't want to be in the gym for that long. Well, the good news is that you don't have to be. So you can literally build muscle, meaningful amounts of muscle, by doing as little as 3 to 5 sets per muscle group per week. That's not per session, that's not per day, that's per week. 3 to 5 sets per week. That's nothing. You can get that done in one session. But there's a caveat, or there are caveats. The sets you do need to be very intense, hard sets, very close to failure. So there's a bit of a there's a caveat where, is that even the right word? I don't know what I'm saying anymore. If you can get to the gym and you can do 12, 15, 20 sets per muscle group per week, you don't actually have to take those sets too close to failure, because you'll be doing more effective reps throughout the week. However, if you can only do 3 to 5 sets per week, these sets need to be very close to failure. So you So you make up for the lack of effective reps done in the less amount of sets you were doing. So if you're doing less sets, you need to do harder. Those sets need to be harder and closer to failure in order to get the tension that is required for the muscles to adapt. Again, I've just mentioned here about the protein, but it's the same as before. Around 1.6 to 2 grams per kilo of body weight per day. This is more important because it's going to help with the lack of overall sets you were doing. So, and remember, this is for you if you can't spend much time in the gym or working out in your week. You need to improve on other areas. So work on sleep, work on getting your protein up, work on making sure the sets you do, they need to be intense and very close to failure. Okay? So I hope that's an eye-opener for you. So here's a full body workout. Here's an example full body workout which should take you around 45 minutes, taking into account these 3 points or 2 points. So they're all color coordinated or color coded. So these are supersets. All of these are 3 hard sets, all 0 to 1 rep and reserve, which means very close to failure. And by the way, your close to failure isn't close to failure. You can do a lot more. I'm not saying people on average can do a lot more than they think. You can do a lot. You can do up to maybe 6, 7, 8 more reps close to failure than you think. If someone has a gun to your head, let's say you're in the gym doing a chest press and you think, oh yeah, I'm nearly at failure. If I had a gun against your head and said, you need to do me 6 more reps or else I will pull this trigger, I guarantee you'll do 6 more reps. And that's what I mean by close to failure, like actual failure. It's hard work. So anyway, all sets need to be around 0 to 1 reps in reserve. And as you can see here, the rep range is high, which means there's no warm-up required because you get enough sort of warm-up reps done by doing high rep sets anyway. So choosing a load of around 18 to 20 rep max is your best bet. There's no warm-up required, which saves you time. These are supersets, so that they'll save you time, and also some of these exercises you can just jump on without having to load up the bar or take down the bar, which will also save you time. So this workout, a very effective full body workout, should take you 45 minutes. And bearing in mind what I mentioned here, this will give you enough overall work in a week to give you some growth. So you could literally do this once a week. And I know that I'm obviously going to give you, or I have given you your own training program to follow. I'm just giving you an example of what it can be adapted or adjusted to if you need it adjusted. So leg press into push-up, 3 sets. You've got push-up max reps, so to failure, as many as you can do. Seated row into a leg curl, and obviously this depends on what gym you have and where the equipment is, obviously, but it's just an example. And then lateral raise into a lat pull down. This is good because you can just bring your dumbbells over to the lat pull down, do the lateral raises, and then straight into a neutral grip or an underarm grip pull down, for example. Making sure that each working set is close to failure. And then here's another example. This full body workout should take you about 30 minutes, but this time, a few different exercises. Everything else is the same apart from just 2 hard sets. And you could do this twice a week, which will equate to 4 sets overall on each muscle growth. In each muscle group, not muscle growth. But it will lead to muscle growth. So you can literally do this twice a week, half an hour. That's 1 hour a week of training. 1 hour a week, when really you probably thought 4 or 5 hours a week. No. So chest press into a seated row. There's an error there. But 2 sets. Why Why is that? What is that about? I'll get that changed. Oh, that's too late now, isn't it? That should be 2 sets of. What should that be? 2 sets of 18 to 20. Yeah, I don't think I changed that from the push-up. Anyway, leg extension into leg curl and pull-up into lateral raise. So very, very similar. It gets all the major muscle groups, and it's a hard, intense workout, but it doesn't take any time at all. And obviously, you can change the exercises around as long as you follow the main sort of principles of the basic push-pull movements. As long as you get each major muscle group in there, you can sort of do whatever you want, really. There's another thing which we can also do called exercise snacking. So this is for someone, or those of you who literally haven't got time to go to the gym. You haven't got time to drive to the gym or walk to the gym and do your workout and, get showered or whatever, change. Exercise snacking is literally doing, it's like little bits of exercise throughout the day or throughout the week. It's doing a set or 2 whenever you can and wherever you can. So let's say you're working in your office from home, okay, and you think, right, I'm going to do a set of push-ups now. You literally stop what you're doing. You go and do a set of push-ups just next to your table or your laptop. You take that push-up set to failure, and you come back up and you carry on work. And that's it. You don't do anything else unless you want to. Doing that, and then again maybe 3 hours later, and then the next day doing a set of pistol squats or a set of Bulgarian split squats or anything like that, just sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Sporadically around throughout the day is better than doing nothing at all. And if you do that, let's say for example, in one day you do a set of push-ups, and obviously this depends on the types of equipment you have. If you have no equipment, you do a set of push-ups, hard push-ups, again, needs to be to failure. And then 2 hours later, you go and do a set of Bulgarian split squats in your bedroom, again, to failure. And then 2 hours later, you go and do a set of Nordic curls downstairs in your living room. Okay, that's 3 exercises, that's 3 sets of different exercises. You do that for Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That's 3 hard sets of push-ups and a couple of leg exercises. That can add up. That's still enough to get you some growth. Yes, it's not optimal. Yes, it's not ideal. Yes, it's not. You're not in the gym lifting actual weights, but you're still putting your muscles through a considerable amount of stress for it to then adapt and grow. Now, if you think about being able to maybe get some equipment, let's say you're, a band, a resistance band, and one dumbbell or something. I think I'll go into this in the next slide. But even if you just get one dumbbell and a couple of resistance bands, you can basically do every movement you want to do. You can do pushing, pulling movements. You can do squats. You can do, single leg deadlift, for example. You can do so much stuff. You can do hip thrusts. But this is just to show you that you don't have to. It doesn't have to be like in an order. It doesn't have to be regimented. It doesn't have to be, strictly structured. You can do a set here and there, dotted around the week. And with this in mind, there's no excuse that you have the time. You have, you can do it first thing in the morning. You can do a set or 2 first thing in the morning. You can do a set or 2 after dinner. Over the weeks and months, this will add up. Over time, you will start to build muscle. You start to get stronger. Okay, so obviously big compounds offer more bang for your buck. So like pull-ups. So getting yourself a pull-up bar in your house or your garage or something and an adjustable dumbbell, for example, and some bands is ideal. You need to ensure that the sets you do are close to failure. So they need to be very, very difficult. It's no point just doing a set of 8 reps on push-ups and then just like, oh, that was quite easy. Sweet, that'll do. They need to be hard. Remember, you have to You have to take other things into account. If you're not going to the gym, you're not following through on the training program, then some things need to be taken into account, like going to very close to failure. One set a day will soon add up over the course of the week and months. Okay? So, again, like you said, what you do depends on the kit you have. So you could do a pull-up if you have a pull-up bar, a push-up, a single leg squat, a dumbbell row. If you have an adjustable dumbbell, just one is all you need. Very, very handy. And some resistance bands. These are the things I recommend. Bands, one adjustable dumbbell at least, and a pull-up bar. Smash out Smash out a set when you have a spare 2 minutes. And just, think about, okay, I'm going to do this now. I'm going to do a set of that. I'm going to do a set of that. It's better than nothing. It's better, remember, to build muscle, your muscles don't know where you are. Your muscles don't know that you're in a gym or not. Your muscles know that they are under tension or stress. That's where they adapt. That's how they adapt. A good thing to do is set an alarm or reminder on your phone. Every 2 hours, it will come up. Do a set of something. Do a set. And just smash out a set. Again, like I mentioned, one set in the morning, one set in the evening. Do this every day. It will soon add up. What area of the body do you want to work on? Do a set which will work that muscle group. Okay. Remember, if you want your if you need or want your training program changed, just let me know. So to summarize, you don't need to do as much as you think you do to build muscle. And that's all you're doing in the gym. Whether or not whatever your goal is, if it's a fat loss phase or a muscle building phase, you still need to be training to build muscle. You're not training to burn calories. Keep your workouts simple and easy to follow. If they're not easy to follow, they're not simple, then you're less likely to do them. So something as simple as, like I mentioned in a few slides ago, a leg press, a chest press, and a seated row. 3 exercises, 3 sets each. Very effective workout, depending on how you perform and execute the reps and sets. 1 session a week is enough to get meaningful muscle growth. 1 session a week. Everyone, 97% of people can do 1 session a week. Half an hour, 45 minutes a week. It's just about prioritizing it, Exercise snacking can be a great tool if you can't get to the gym. You can do bodyweight exercise. You can get yourself a couple of bits of kit. Do outside in the garden when it's a bit warmer. There's always ways around it. You don't need any extra time to improve your nutrition. So again, if your goal is to lose body fat, you don't have to do any exercise. You don't need any extra time to do that. You just need to make better decisions when it comes to food choices and calorie control. So if you're worrying about having the time to lose body fat, good news. You don't need any extra time. You just need to make better decisions in terms of food. You are in full control of what goes in your mouth. And that's what you need to be focus on. You don't need to go for runs. You don't need to go for walks. You don't need to do cardio or go to the gym to lose body fat. You just need to control what food and how much calories are going into your mouth. I think that's it. So yeah, I hope that helps. Any questions on any of those, please let me know. If you need anything changed in your program, let me know. And I'll get things changed. Okay, have a good one, and I'll speak to you soon.